to Tidings from Across the Narrow Sea. I am the Brick and I'm the moderator for today. Today we have Van from Wargame Indonesia, Ian from Singapore, and Man from Thailand. We are
Yep.
the kind of like the speakers for today, and we'll cover the updates. We already seen some changes in the patch before, the live stream earlier by Fabio and Helena. But we're going to go in for most of the panel. They are going to go in blind today, and they're going to find out what exactly is changing, and you can see their raw reactions to the change. Okay, so since we are going in blind, how does everyone feel? Let's start with Van.
Excited. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. This will be very exciting.
All right, Ian.
Pretty excited as well with Van. They wanted to see changes to Greyjoy for the first faction I started playing, and they didn't work. Yeah.
Okay, Man.
Yep. Also very excited and looking forward to many changes.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you all know, this patch is called 2021 SO2 or Season 2 because this is an extension of the 2021 patch from years ago. So just temper your expectations a little bit. It's not too big, and it's also not too small. All right. So let's look at some of the major changes right now. We're going to go right in. Since the start of patch 2021, we've seen a few abilities kind of popped up, and it's kind of became the meta choice or the dominating choice that most people usually go with. So many factions have access to this ability as well. And let's look at our first one. Okay. So the first one, let's look at Warcry. Okay, so as you can see, Warcry is already covered in the patch. It becomes panic or vulnerable. The affected units are all over here. They are let's see, yeah, they're all over here. So they're She-Bears, Brentali's cards, Asha Greyjoys and her card, Marcellin, Jon Snow, Champion of the Faith, Torments, Giants Bane, 1/1, and Blood Riders. Also, do take note, Blood Riders has a slight change. They cannot be weakened as well. So why not we just discuss this quickly because it was already discussed previously. Let's start with Van. What do you think?
This is good. I think in general, Warcry is one of the ability that people just sort of spam, and because it's very powerful. The timing is very friendly. The token play is very powerful, and some faction can just spam it. Like for example, Lannister with Champion of the Fate, they can just spam out like Warcry, and it's really really powerful. One funny thing that I realized is that Martell doesn't have Warcry, so this nerf doesn't affect him at all.
Yeah, that's true.
Martell main baby.
And Baratheon.
Baratheon doesn't have Warcry. Huh. That's kind of interesting as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you guys think that this patch this nerf is too much for certain factions like, let's say, Stark? Because Stark was relying on She-Bears. Do you think it'll affect them a lot or not?
I think She-Bear is one of the mainstay now for Stark. I think the loss of Warcry, because usually Warcry is part of a unit or an attachment as an option, but sort of like Warcry is sort of like the core ability of She-Bear, so this will affect like how they're being played and how much they will be in the Stark game strategy.
Okay, so let's look at this. How about Ian? You love Asha 1 for her Warcry. Will you still be using Asha moving forward?
I'll still be using Ash. The thing is, there is no other option better for Greyjoys right now that has a inspiration presence of 5+ and no panic token generation. We do have finger dance that can make vulnerable tokens easily. And also, I think Victarion's Furious Charge does that too as well. But I still think Asha is to be played because not only for Warcry, but because of our inspiring presence, not intimidating presence.
Yeah, I guess that helps.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we covered Warcry, let's quickly go through the next ability that was also covered in the live stream. Let's look at our second ability of the day. It is Harden. So Harden, as you can see, is now no longer 1+1 per rank. It just blocks 1 hit for each of these destroyed ranks. So the cards affected are all listed over here. They are Great Warriors, Edinburgh Brand, Mormon Veteran, Ortel Yarwick, Belwas, Baylor Black Tide, and Eldon Nestamon, which I guess is the more important one. Okay, so let's start with Man. What do you think will happen with especially Eldon? Do you think we'll see play or not?
For Eldon, I could still see he being played, but before it was very strong when we have combination like playing Adam into Warrior Sun and Belwas into Unsullied Pikeman. With this combination, we can block so many hits. So, yeah, I think tone it down a bit is a good change, in my opinion. Yeah.
Okay. So let's look at especially Blade of Black Tide. Blade of Black Tide Harden was a very popular choice for Silence Man. Do you guys think that, let's say Ian, do you think that this will affect your ability to use Blade Black Tide reliably?
To me, not really, because that Harden to me is a bonus. But because I'm still using B-Ron on my Silence Man, and I've got a drum. I mean, people in the Discord community would know me that I'm the lover of using drum man all the time, and I always use bring 2. So that Harden doesn't really do much for me. But I can see it really affecting the start guys much more so than everyone else here. Because that all of these commanders cards here, I think they are all free to use, right? As long as you bring a commander. Except for that moment veteran there. I don't think it's worth 1 point to bring Harden anymore. For start players.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, Van, do you have any input?
No, I think Adam Marbrand is a powerful commander Lannister. I think he will still see play because Warrior Sun doesn't have Harden. Warrior Sun plus Harden is a bit nuts, just like Unsullied Pikeman. So I think it's good. It's a good change.
It's good that you brought that up because just to confirm to our viewers, Warrior Sun's battle prayer is not getting changed. So effectively, if you're at last rank, you're still gonna block 5 hits. So take that in mind. All right, so let's move on to our next next change. Next change is okay, this is a very important one, and I don't think it was shown in the live stream. This third ability is called Expert Duelist, and I think you will be quite interested to see the change. So let's change this. All right. Okay, Expert Duelist has seen a slight change. The key thing to take note is when it targets 1 infantry attachment, when you roll a dice, it's no longer a 3+. It is now a 5+. So take note, it's not going to be easy for Khal Drogo to start killing infantry attachments. Yeah. Okay, so why don't we go through that? Let's see. Let's talk about the main point, which is Khal Drogo. Do you think Khal Drogo will still see play? Let's start with Van.
I think I was with Khal Drogo because he's one of the most powerful commander that Targaryen has, and his strategy. Look, the Expert Duelist 3+ is sometimes a plus. You would only want to reliably deal an extra wound anyway, and having that ability on a commander is also already pretty powerful. So I think, despite the changes, I think Khal Drogo will still see play.
Okay. Ian, how about Khal? As in, the mate.
Most of the so how I play my Greyjoys whenever I bring Khal is to find the guy that has a 2+ save, or to find the guy that has Harden. Now that Harden has been nerfed and Expert Duelist has been, oh my god, 5+ to hit now. I'm just gonna go straight up just gonna use straight up auto win the guy. I don't give a shit about the Expert Duelist anymore. 5+ is a bit too much though, in my opinion.
Oh, fair. It was.
Yeah, man.
It was already good with the auto wound, but to have that option of 3+ make it really outstanding. But now, not so expert anymore.
Yes, not so expert. Really. Yeah. That's true.
Take that, Khal Drogo. Yeah.
All right. So as you can see, this is quite a big change. At least 3 of the attachment out of the 7 that has Expert Duelist right now will probably see less play. But I think, as we all agree, Khal Drogo probably will still see some play, right? So yeah, something to take note of. Okay. All right, let's move on to our next ability. Our next ability is something that was not shown in live stream as well, and I think it's an interesting change. I myself am not sure how this will fare, but our next ability is Relentless. So let's take a look at Relentless. So in 2021, we saw the introduction of a new obnoxious ability called Relentless. So it either gave you an extra attack or extra maneuver, and it was in order. So new Relentless is changing because, as you can tell, it's no longer an order. Let's take note of that. It is no longer an order. At each time it gets attacked, it can make 1 melee attack action. So yeah, you can see the 3 cards there. Let's see. The 3 cards are Watch Captain, Victorion, and Unsullied Officer. So what do you think of the change to your favorite Relentless ability? Man, what do you think about Storm Brothers Captain?
love it. Really, I think it's cool. It's more fun this way. I think. Yeah.
Okay, but how would you use this attachment?
Is there anything that? Is there any? I can't think of the unit that have like what's it called? The regain health.
Heal?
Heal when attacked.
So you were
is it Rally Cry? Rally Cry, is it?
Rose Knight, right? Rose Knight's ability. I forgot what it's called.
Something like that.
But Brothers don't have Relentless, so kind of out of the way.
No, it's the other ability. Wait,
I think it's Rally Cry with Jon Snow.
Unsullied Pikeman with Unsullied Officer is going to be disgusting to take down. Holy hell.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't highlight the other key thing also. Watch Captain and Unsullied Officer with Relentless and their abilities are worth 2 points each. Victorion is staying at 3 points.
Victorion's staying at 3 points. What?
Wow, what? Why?
I don't know. I'm just giving you the information. Don't shoot the messenger.
Ian, you're going to hate this.
Oh,
Mikael, if you're watching,
no more.
Mikael, the famous
I can't remember
player.
if there is any infantry unit with fuel by slaughter.
I don't think there is. But I think the key thing to take note is Watch Captain is in army with a lot of healing because of Aemon and a lot of another stuff. Yeah. So something to take note of. So one application that I thought about is I realized that as people know, I love to use Freakman. Freakman touching anything with Relentless is gonna die after that. That's the truth.
Yeah.
What this does is it's a chef killer. It kills off all the weaker units quite easily.
And it's 2 points, right? Except
So Watch Captain and Unsullied Officer are 2 points each.
So what I find funny is that Relentless also work against range, right? Because if you engage in a melee with something, you shoot it with range, then they punch. They punch. That's insane.
Yeah, that is an interaction that is possible.
Wow. Okay.
So it's not like it's a Relentless nerf that people are hoping for, but it feels like a side grade buff in a way.
Well, at least you lose out the activation count, but you can actually gain bonus activations if the opponent.
I mean, you don't gain activation, but your action economy effectively goes up because of this flexible card in a way.
Yeah, and it's 2 points, except Victorion.
Poor Victorion. All right. Anyway, we've gone through Relentless. I think we said enough. Let's move on to our next change, and probably our last of the big ones, which the live stream did cover. It is Outflank. So Outflank is an interesting one to cover.
I've got so many questions.
So as you can see, new Outflank is changing so that as long as you are not the first player for that round and you have Outflank a unit, it can come in unactivated. So, Ban, do you think you'll see Outflank show up more often?
Yeah, definitely. I think Outflank before is too clunky to use. And I think it's one of the ability that is, it's really hard to balance. It wasn't good before, but if you tune it up too much, then maybe too strong. I like that it requires you to be second player, so the opponent has a chance to react. Yeah.
So take note that the cards that are seeing change includes Davos, Seaworth, Jia, Brendan Tully, Dothraki Haka, River Captain, as well as Ranger Vanguard. But I think we'll save the discussion for Ranger Vanguard later because it's going through multiple changes. Okay, so Ian, River Captain is seeing that change as well. What do you see yourself bringing, or if you plan to bring River's Captain, what do you see yourself combining that with?
Bowman, that's a 4 point plus 1 point there. Second round, I'm going to put it behind the slowest enemy unit. Probably Baratheons. If Baratheons, I'll probably put it in round 2. If it's not Baratheons, I'll probably put it near short range of my friendly unit to get a flank. As unactivated as well. Yeah. And also, the Bowmans will not get one shot from the stone throwers as well as the Melisandre bomb. So I like to use Real Captain to just hold it off. Yeah.
Stone throwers are at a big disadvantage because of outflank. Players with stone throwers have to be more careful now.
Correct. Yes.
Interesting. Okay, Van, where do you think you'll use outflank?
Yeah, I think Jarl is now interesting. Again, the biggest downside of outflank is that against Targaryens, like it's always like a random chance they have field control, so your outflank will fail. And now with the rule that it's going to come out whenever you want and you're not the first player, it gives you like a lot of option as well. And I think it's interesting for free folk because well, it depends. I'm seeing going to be there be a lot of free folk changes. I'm hold off with my opinion until I see like what the changes are.
And that is the perfect segue to our next segment, because we are going to cover through the factions, and the faction that we cover first is free folk. All right, so let's go and cover free folk, guys. Let's go. All right, so let's see the first faction change. Okay, so for the past 4 years, there was one commander that kind of always stayed at the top, and his name is Mance Raider. Over the years, the games changed. 2021 came along, but Mance has always been there for some reason ever since the prehistoric times of Song. So let's take a look at Mance Raider. So as you can see, Mance Raider has lost his rally point. So he gains boisterous charisma, which is a very questionable ability that everyone in the community feels it is. As well as the king is dead. So he gains Joffrey's ability. When he dies, opponent gains 2 victory points, and each of your unit in long range becomes panicked.
What? What?
Yeah, so the question I have, I guess because Ivandra is our free folk kind of main player in this group today, how do you feel?
Ooh, I mean, okay. Mance is I think it's too powerful as a commander. I think by a lot of results of the tournament and by everyone's opinion, he is too powerful, and he hasn't been changed since the dawn of time, like Brick said. But yeah, by having basically 2 abilities, removing his most powerful ability, which is Inspiring Presence, and just making it this unit morale become 5+, I think that's a death sentence for Mance, regardless of whatever other card he has.
You mean the bubble thing, right? Removing
the
bubble.
rally point.
Yeah.
The rally point.
Yeah,
rally point.
He's no longer relevant as a commander. Like, he's gone.
So sad.
I'm serious.
Yeah. I hear you. Okay, but Ian or Man, do you have any input?
I've only played free for once, so I don't know.
Okay, Man.
Yeah, the king is dead.
Okay, the king is dead indeed. Let's move on. All right, so sometimes things goes up and things goes down. So a certain other commander is getting a buff for free folk. His name is Meg the Mighty.
The giant.
Ooh.
So as you can see, Meg the Mighty has a change to his Chieftain of the Giants card. When you choose Meg the Mighty as commander, he's only cost 5 points instead of the usual 9. You still have to replace the deck though, so do take note about that. So with this in mind, Van, do you think Meg will become competitive?
Is the deck going to be changed? Because his deck
as
is
far
really
as
bad.
I know, the deck is the same.
Oh no, Trample and Hurl Boulder and Enrage. Okay. Okay. So I think a lot of people will find this interesting, at least from like the casual commanders who uses Mac. They want to make a monster list, right? Now you can bring Mac for 5, and then you can bring Wun for 7, and then you can bring mammoths and giants. So I think this will serve a lot of those type of players, sort of like the casual ones who wants to play with giant monsters. But it's a good change, definitely. Interested to see like how it goes, but definitely Mac has like really bad cards, is all, as far as I can tell.
But let me just throw it out of the way. Varamir is not seeing change. Will this change your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, it's already clear what the commander option is for free folk then, right? It's Varamir.
Yeah.
Double Varamir list.
Yeah, but what about using Varamir to sponge Meg the Mighty list?
Could be. We shall see.
Ian or Man, do you have any input?
I've only seen Mac play in casual games, but what are you gonna do with that extra 4 points now that it only costs 5?
Trappers.
Bring Varamir? Trappers?
Yeah, Trappers. Why not? Okay, so let's move on quickly. Next up, we will start looking at the free folk tactics card. The first one, which is we're just gonna breeze through it because it doesn't mean anything, is coordination tactics. I think you've seen this before in the live stream on non-innate abilities. Right now in Free Folk, there's not really a concern. So, we'll just breeze through this one and move on to the next card, which I guess is more important because this card is called There's Too Many.
Man, this one gives headaches, man.
Yeah, so There's Too Many used to give like +1 panic damage per rank of the attacker, was it? Yeah, that's gone.
Yeah.
It's now only suffer -1 to their roll for each of your friendly units in short range.
So I think this is the old There's Too Many, if I'm not mistaken. There's Too Many receives a change from, I think, this version to the version you saw before, and now it's back to the original version. I think it was too powerful because it increases the spike damage that Free Folk otherwise has. With it used to be with Spearwife, which was insane. Now it's just basically you just spam with a few things and then you charge. There's Too Many for -3. It's too much. But yeah, I think the removal of the extra damage is pretty good.
Okay. All right. Man or Ian, any input?
Yeah, it was such a scary card to play against. When I play Baratheon, I always save Assault a high to counter this card. It's just so scary.
Yeah, you need to counter this card. You need to try to survive the burst damage from this card. But I guess the big question is, do you see Free Folk's damage potential or damage output potential dropping because this card is going away?
Oh, for me, definitely.
Okay.
And especially because the game I played.
Okay.
But yeah.
I think that's something for our viewers to take note in mind is damage potential seems to be going down, and I think that's how we move on. Okay, the next one is a fun one. It's called Endless Horde. So let's take a look at Endless Horde. Okay, this card's a bit small. Let me touch it for you guys. Endless Horde is... Wait, sorry. This is the old Endless Horde. Oh, I copied the wrong Endless Horde.
Okay.
Let me get... Okay, for our viewers, this is
it's a life thing,
we
all right, so let me just probably talk to the changes to Free Folk. I think Mance is good. Mance again is too powerful in this current iteration. He can just sit back on a trapper, provides everyone with a morale buff. With Tormund, he suddenly makes a unit morale 3, becomes 5, -2 stalwart, and then 3 becomes morale 2. So Raider with morale 2 is kind of insane. So taking that away is definitely very good, and reducing the damage output of Free Folk is also a place to go. And what the hell is this?
All right, let's take a look at Endless Horde.
What the hell is this brick?
Yeah, the start of any turn, Endless Horde is changing his trigger to start of any turn. Target one friendly infantry and attach the card to them until the end of the game. When this unit is destroyed, place one Free Folk Raider with Red Leader attached to it fully within long range of a friendly table and unactivated.
Okay. So, what was just a question? Was the previous card returning any dead unit, not just a Raider?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's Raider or dead unit.
Oh, okay. So now it's just Raiders in this one now.
With Raid Leader.
With Raid Leader. Okay. So okay, I'm happy. I'm happy as a non-Free Folk player. But what
are you happy as a Greyjoy player?
I'm not scoring. I'm happy. I'm still happy. It's still positive.
So with this change, it's a bit more limiting, but do take note it's not good side to a zone, which means I think it's a nerf also because it forces players to compete for the horse zone. So now opponents don't have to compete for the maneuver/horse zone as much. So I think that's something to consider moving forward.
So one cute play I can think of with this new Endless Horde is that you outflank with Jarl using a unit that you want to die, and then once that unit dies, you replace it with a Free Folk Raider for combat. But Free Folk Endless Horde is never used for offensive capabilities anyway. It always just used to pad up the extra activation that Free Folk has, making 10 activation lists even more disgusting with 2 additional Raider units. And I think that needs to go for sure. But yeah.
So this one just replaces an activation when someone dies.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you won't get activation advantage. You just remain status quo with another subpar unit, I guess.
Yes. Exactly.
Cool. All right, so let's move on to our next change, which will start looking at the free folk units that are seeing change. The first one is a unit that is not even released yet. It is the Frozen Shore Hunters.
So it really is shortened.
It is short range.
It's short range, yeah.
So
A meme. It's no longer a meme.
yeah, it's no longer an Olympics thrower. It's now a college javelin thrower.
Oh man, yeah. Stupid.
Yeah, so I mean, it's sensible that they change it to short range.
But you still bring this in the list?
Yeah, we
still bring this 5 point unit?
Because it gives 2 tokens.
Yeah.
Or 1 reliably.
Yeah, the short range definitely makes the playability of this unit becomes less, because but you can still use the mark target. And you know what's interesting is now Frozen Shore Hunters with Jarl outflank can potentially mess you up, which is also interesting.
So I mean, maybe you can combine with your Endless Hawk play you were thinking of. Yeah, it's possible. Okay, Man, are you there? Just to double check.
Yeah, can you hear?
All right, cool. So we still have you on the line.
Yeah.
That is good. All right, so let's move on to the next unit. Let's see what we have here. Okay. The next unit is Cave Dweller Savages. It's more of a buff. It's basically Cave Dweller Savages no longer suffers wounds for rolling hit rolls of 1.
Yeah, that's kind of a meme. Like you're on like one guy, you swing, then you die. It's good.
Yeah,
It's good.
Okay, so I think we'll just go through this quickly. Do you guys have any other inputs? Because that's not much of a change, man. Okay.
We'll
move. Yeah. So we'll just move on. The next change is Frozen Shore Bear Riders. Okay, so this will be a fun one because Frozen Shore is gaining Charging Volley.
Yes, finally. Like it's funny that because this unit used to, like it has a spear, but it can't Charging Volley. Now they do. Yay! It's still 8 points though, so pretty expensive.
It's still 8 points.
It's still 8 points.
And it's still move 4.
It's still movement for 8 points unit. However, it does have 4 wounds each. So it is like the most tankiest unit that Free Folk has in terms of like just wound count. But yeah, it's good. The offensive capabilities it used to be like really bad because you can like, you just punch, but now with like a shoot and charge, I think it makes play. It makes them like a mini Targaryen veterans.
Yeah, that's a good analysis. Okay, any inputs from our other 2 gentlemen?
How many points is this guy? Because I didn't see.
He's still 8 points.
8 points.
8 points for how many wounds?
16.
16 wounds, 8 points. Okay. We're moving 4, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, but we have Lady Val, so
Yeah,
we got to,
it moved 4, but that's trick to make it faster, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's 8 points though.
So it's not that bad.
It's a good model though.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess we covered this enough already because it's gonna hit hard. That's for sure.
Unpainted van, unpainted.
Shut up. Now I have a reason to paint them, okay?
Now I have a reason.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to our final change for Free Folk, and it's a unit as well. It's everyone's hated enemy Frozen Shore Chariots. It is now going to 5 points.
It's going straight to trash.
Really? Like
I'm joking, but
like 5 points is still reasonable, but you probably won't bring 2, right?
Yeah, I think like the strength of the Frozen Shore Chariots was that for 4 points it does a lot of work. It gives you an extra activation. It gives you like offensive capabilities, and it was sort of the gameplay that Free Folk wants to have. Now it being 5 points, essentially the cost of 10 warriors. I don't know.
It's tricky. Any inputs from our other 2 guys?
So with all these point increases, what's the average Free Folk list going to look like? It's going to be 8 activations at least?
it's still going to be a lot because Varamir still exists.
Varamir still exists. Okay. For Van, actually, if you bring a 2-list format, would you bring Varamir and Mance still?
No, I think Mance is now like very difficult.
Okay.
I think you can still try to bring Mance. Just now you have to be more cagey in playing him. Mance plus Mac could still like probably do work. Because you still have Varamir, which is what 7 points for like 2 activation, 3 activation or something. I don't remember. But in general, I think Free Folk has always tried to leverage activation more so than other factions. So this definitely will throw a wrench to that plan.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess we have covered the Free Folk section for today. Let's move on quickly to the next section. Let's look at Night's Watch. Our first Night's Watch change will be the commander. It will be Commander Jon Snow. So let's take a look at what's changing for Jon Snow.
No, Mr. Valley Cry is gone.
Yeah. So Jon Snow is losing Rally Cry, I believe, for Furious Charge. So, yeah. So, Man, do you have any input?
Yep. Furious Charge. I think Jon Snow used in combination with Larry before with Ranger Hunter, it can heal always. It was very good, but now I don't know, not sure.
So, yeah, I mean that's what it is. So, anyone else has input before we move on?
I think Jon Snow has been a poor commander.
Sorry, Van, your mic is cutting off.
With Jon Snow as like the main commander, relies on the healing a lot, and this might put a damper on them.
That makes sense.
What's the healing coming? So the healing is coming from Amon now, right? And the bags. Is that all?
Yeah, I guess so.
I can't think of.
Jon Snow still has that heal card, the Stand United Brothers.
Oh, that dumbass card.
Okay. So healing output decrease. Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the next commander, Sir Dennis Manister. So Sir Dennis Manister is also seeing a change. As you can see, Nightly Vow is changing, which means obviously some other units are seeing change with Nightly Vow as well. So as you can see, Nightly Vow is now split into 2 parts. The first part is target 1 enemy, same as before. When charging enemy, you can reroll. The second part, which is tied to the sword zone now, the unit gets +1 to hit. So do you guys see this changing? Do you see guys seeing this unit come up more often? Man? Yeah.
Yeah, just it wasn't very often chosen before, was it?
Yeah, it was not. I don't think I've seen this commander in action before.
Right. I still think it's not very strong.
It's a nerf, yeah. So, well, not exactly a nerf because Nightly Vow used to have 2 components tied to a unit. So you choose your target for the Nightly Vow, but now the reroll is then tied to that unit, except the sword is now global. So as long as you control sword, you just get +1 to hit. So it's a slight change, but it makes the unit like slightly weird because Nightly Vow used to be like, all right, I choose 1 unit, I'm gonna go straight at a unit and try to kill that unit. Now it's just, I have to have a sword on top of that.
Are you sure that's the correct way to read it? Because if you control, so it's separate into 2 parts. So.
Oh, never mind. You're right. You're right.
So yeah, if you control sword, you just get +1 to hit.
That's nice, I guess. But I have not seen him before.
So yeah, we'll see whether he shows up more often in the future. All right, let's move on quickly to the next one. Okay, it's Ranger Vanguard. Let's take a look at Ranger Vanguard. So Ranger Vanguard had a change to Outflank, as we all know. But the other thing to take note also is it's now 4+ save.
Was
So
it 5+
Okay.
save?
it was 5+ save, so now it's 4+
5+
save. So he got a 4+ save with 5+ morale, which is somewhat tanky, I guess. Somewhat.
Yeah.
So, Man, what do you think?
I think it get used more with the change to the outflank rule as well. With the when you deploy outflank and has the mobility of a cavalry, you can do some work for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else has input? Okay, we're good.
I haven't seen this unit before. Yeah.
Okay, so
It's
for those
always
that don't know,
it's always the same Ranger Hunters. Always
yeah,
those,
we tend to see, okay, for context sake and for people to understand, in Singapore, not a lot of people use Ranger Vanguard. In fact, I don't think I ever seen Ranger Vanguard locally myself.
No, I never see it either.
So, it's interesting that this change is coming because I think it will finally start to see some play. So, yay. All right, let's move on. Next one is we will start looking at the Night's Watch NCU. Take note, Night's Watch has no tactics card they are changing. But let's take a look at the NCUs. The first one is Donald Noy. So not much to look at except Donald Noy has a reduction of 1 point. So I believe he goes from 5 to 4. Yeah. So, Man, what do you think about it?
Playable for sure. See him more. 4 points reasonable for the ability that he brings. Yeah.
That's true. And I think he combines with Ranger, Vanguard, and other units as well. So +1 to defense is quite scary in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the next NCU. It's Corinth Halfhand. So Corinth's Halfhand is no change as well, except he's going from 6 points to 5 points. Do you see people using him previously, Man?
No, never. Like
but
never. 6 points, no.
Yeah. Do you think people start using him because the
For
bottom
5
half?
points.
Yeah, but the bottom half.
Was he used to be 5 points before or no?
He used to
long
be
time ago.
6, maybe a long time ago.
Yeah.
But he's going from a 6 to a 5 point now, and I think the bottom ability is the interesting one because giving cavalry +1 movement is and 1 attack dice has a lot of potential.
I've seen people use him before to a great effect. When if used at the right time, he can change the game. But not at 6 points, but 5 points. I think maybe, yeah.
All right. Okay, let's move on quickly. Next up is Gilly. Not much to discuss. Gilly just basically had the FAQ from the forum by Shino. So she's no longer affected and she no longer has to activate by the end of round 1.
Yeah, just
assuming there's a tactics spot space open. Yeah. So, it's just some housekeeping.
Yep.
All right, so let's quickly move on to the next faction, and I think it's the more exciting one that people care about. Neutrals, because in neutrals there is Bolton Fleet Man. So everyone knows that.
I love to see what changed.
Everyone knows that Bolton Fleet Man is everywhere right now, and
every single patch, Bolton Fleet Man is changed.
Yeah, it's changing. So Bolton Fleet Man is like a stock market thing; they go up and go down. So for our guys, Bolton Fleet Man just loses 1 attack die. So what do you guys think?
Flameman lose 1 attack dice, huh?
Yeah, it's okay. Okay.
It's still strong.
Still strong. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But do you see it? Do you guys see it competing against Lance Cavalry now, or is it still better than Lance Cavalry?
Depends on the faction. For Lannister, I like Knights better than Fleet Men. But for like Martell, which Starfall Knight isn't as good as Fleet Men. Actually, you know what? Let me change my opinion. I think now Starfall Knight is on par with Fleet Men. Because back then Fleet Men is better than Starfall Knight, but now it's probably on par.
Anyone else have further input?
Now I love to see what change you have made for other units for neutral.
It's not a lot. But why not? We just take a look at the next one then. Let's see. Next one. Who is it? Next neutral unit is Golden Company Crossbowman.
Oh yes, the most beam unit in the game. Let's go.
This is the most beautiful models.
Yeah,
I put it on the table before. This one.
Yeah, it's okay. So the key thing to take note is going from 8 points to 7 points.
Yeah, no, it's still not gonna see play. Okay. Hear me out.
Okay.
Why does a crossbow unit have Sentinel?
I don't know. I have no answer to that. I just find that Sentinel is such a meme ability that is
on
being
a rage
used
unit.
It's
even on a melee unit. Like I don't get why it's valued so much. Like let's put it this way: it was playtest and designed to be worth 7 points. Why is Sentinel worth so much? Yeah, that was a question I always ask myself. Like I don't understand the Sentinel value aside from the free maneuver.
I used to do a Lenly list that when one enemy unit attack Lenly, another unit can attack the attacked unit. Something like that with shenanigan with this crossbowman. It was fun, but 7 points, probably no.
Yeah,
maybe
it's still a no.
6.5. Yeah.
Okay. So I think we covered the units for neutrals. Let's look at the NCU, which I guess is more important. You know which NCU we are going to talk about, and it's no other than Littlefinger.
There's only so many to talk about.
Yeah, it's Littlefinger's time to take to shine.
Peter Baelish.
Yes, Peter Baelish. So you can see Peter Baelish once per game is still there, but his original ability that we've known for many years is now limited to 3 order tokens.
He's still got 4 points.
It's a nerf.
4 points, right? This one.
I think he's still strong.
He's still 4 points, right? This guy.
Yeah, he's still 4 points.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think to take note is, does it stop Mattel? Do you guys think it will still stop Mattel?
I will use him to negate Doran.
Yeah.
Still. But with 3 order tokens, I think it's just a slight nerf. I will still use him. Yeah.
But Van, why do you say it was a nerf? Like,
yeah, because the sort of the replaceability is because it used to be like you claim something, then you get another something as like a passive effect, right? Now it's 3 times per game, which is technically fine because most of the time you're going to be using Baelish in like turn 2, 3, 4, or 3, 4, 5. And turn 1, it usually does nothing. So I think it's still okay. He's one of the best NCU in terms of neutral, just because his ability is so ubiquitous. Like the fact that you can still have a zone even when you're not the first player is really powerful.
And it's cheap, 4 points.
Yeah, it's still 4 points.
For neutrals,
still worth it. All right, next up, we're going to look at Brienne next. We're going to look at the attachments. So Brienne is the same thing. The Nightly Vow is changing. Take note, she's still worth 2 points. Anyone has any thoughts?
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's still a nope, right?
still 2 points, right?
Yeah, it's still 2 points.
No attachment is worth 2 points in this game.
But we just discussed Relentless.
Yeah,
we can agree that the Relentless change does make them worth 2 points.
Except Victorion. So
yeah, Victorion's true. Okay, so let's quickly move on to the next one. Glory Seeker. So Glory Seeker is losing Rally Cry. In general, Rally Cry seems to be disappearing for some reason.
Yeah,
I have no idea why.
They don't want
the
to
1 point attachment, it changes to Iron Resolve, which is interesting because a lot of cavalry could use a buff to their morale.
Actually, you know what? Iron Resolve is interesting. Yeah, no, I like it. I actually like it. It's still like, okay, so you take Glory Seeker usually for the extra heal, but now it makes a cavalry unit even tankier because of Tenacity and Iron Resolve. So that's interesting.
It could push a Kali cavalry to 4 morale, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. It's 4 morale right there.
Tali Cavalier, sorry. Yeah. So that's somewhat interesting. All right, let's move on. Let's see. Do we have any more neutral changes? No, we don't. We're done with neutral.
Oh,
So
wow.
that means that the Star 4 Outriders is the only one that still has ready card.
And the Marcel unit, I think.
Yeah, the Outrider.
Yeah, Outrider.
Outrider,
Yeah, Outrider
yeah.
has Rally Cry.
So
Yeah, Rally
it's
Cry
probably-
seems to be rarer now.
Okay.
All right, let's move on. Next faction that we're looking at. Oh, Targaryens. Let's look at Targaryens, shall we? So the first one I want to show you, which we'll quickly breeze through because I think we want to talk more about her dragons, is Daenerys, Mother of Dragons. So the key thing to take note about Daenerys, Mother of Dragons is she no longer gives 2 VP, I believe, when dying. I think that's what her original ability was. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so but we just quickly breeze through this because it doesn't mean anything until we look at the dragons. All right, so let's look at the other commander, which is Barristan Selmy. So Barristan Selmy has Nightly Vow changed as well. Yeah. I mean, we kind of find that the Nightly Vow thing is kind of meh, right? But I mean, I think of all the guys with Nightly Vow, and this is Commander version, if I am right, is Unsullied on 2+ to hit may not be something you want to discount. Yeah, just saying. Okay, so let's quickly move on. The next one is... Are we going to look at the dragons? No, it's field control first. Yes, this is the important one. So let's take a look at new field control. The bottom half is the one that changes. So let me enlarge this for boys here. So the key thing to take note is when the enemy resolves their zone effect, they get to resolve the zone effect. You no longer block it with field control. So assault orders and other changes to zone effect is no longer affected. So instead, one friendly combat unit shifts 3. So once again, the horse zone is starting to look less competitive. Anyone got any input about this?
Is it enough?
Yeah, it's kind of
Nerf, right?
nerf. Yeah, because
It's enough, right?
Targaryens no longer have control over horse as much as they used to.
I think like I used to be one of the people who's very vocal against field control simply because in a faction that's not designed to be control, you have essentially a free counter plot. Because you do assault order, you field control, you roll nothing, it gets cancelled. Like it's a very feels bad card.
Yeah, it's a very feedback card. It's a negative player experience card. That's the best way to put it. All right, so with field control change, let's move on quickly to the next one, which is the dragons. Let's take a look at the dragons.
Okay, dragon change.
So, dragons don't have any change, but each of them are now worth 7 points.
Cheaper then. So can you bring all 3 dragons?
And this is the final change for Targaryen. So take note, Daenerys Unburnt, as far as I know, is not changing. So you could get a package for a dragon and Daenerys Unburnt for 11 points, if I'm right. So let's put that in perspective.
Do you know how hard to fight dragon as a Greyjoy player?
I'm a Greyjoy player myself. So yeah, do you guys think dragons are coming back?
Not all 3, I guess. Maybe 2 plus Unburnt.
Yeah.
2 plus Unburnt.
Oh, that's an interesting point. Do you think 2 dragons lists will become a thing?
Because it's always Drogon with the other 2 guys.
Yeah, I mean, I guess people will pick Drogon and
What's the other one? The weakened one, I think. Oh.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely not the vulnerable one. It's the panic one.
The panic one, right?
Hey, guys, I think we have a problem.
They're all panicked. So it's just
they're all panicked. I just realized that. What?
Wait, so that the change is now they're all panicked.
I have no confirmation about this, but it does look like the change is all panic.
All panicked. So then
I'm confused. I don't know whether this is I don't know whether this was intended, but I'm just going to assume they're all panicked right now.
If they're all panicked, they all have different ability names.
And I think the panic token version is the strongest dragon, isn't it?
Now they all have panic.
So
Wow.
Okay.
there's no difference between the dragons anymore.
Yeah.
Which
Mm.
is kind of scary. Like if this is legit and it was not an error, all of them giving panic token is very scary because Drogon was the default you always pick,
Because of
but
the
now you
panic.
can just pick any.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if you
That's-
painted all three of them, just rotate them out so they all have to do this. They all do the same thing. Yeah.
That's interesting. All right, so let's move on quickly. I think we've seen enough dragons. I think everyone knows that dragons are coming and it's going to be quite scary. Let's look at the next change. Next change from the next faction. Oh, Baratheons. All right, Baratheons is an interesting one because they don't see a lot of changes aside from 2 units. So let's start with the first unit. Champion of the Stack.
Oh boy.
Champion of the Stack.
Oh boy.
Moral nerf.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a morale
Oh
nerf.
no, not again.
Oh no.
It's
Not
back to
again.
6+.
Oh no.
But I also believe there was 7 attack dice. Am I right?
Yeah,
So
it
now
was,
they're
it was 7-4. Now it's 6-4.
Yeah, so it's the same as Bolton Flagman in the sense that they don't roll as many dice.
no. So heavy cap, except for Lance, is getting 1 less dice.
Hmm.
1 fewer dice.
It was 7-5.
Oh, it was 7-5 and now it's 6-4.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's quite a big change.
Yeah.
6-4, yeah. So both the BFM and the COTS, the heavy caps, they're going down to 6-4. So I guess the Lance is
my
getting
poor
some
champion
mistakes.
stacks. They're not crying.
No.
I mean,
They're
the
gonna
the question
join
I
the
have is
updated
for
file.
those that have played Baratheons, do you think that Champions of the Stack will still see play?
It will still see play.
In particular, Elden's list.
Yeah.
No, I
It
don't know.
will? Okay.
It will.
That-
It
that's
will.
six-
It will be less.
six-
Okay.
6+
With
does
with
hurt,
with Stannis 3, I think it will still see like a lot of cavalries being played. Because Stannis 3 makes them basically back to their old morale. But yeah, we'll see.
All right. The next change and the final change for Baratheon.
What really? Only
Yeah,
two?
I told you, Baratheon doesn't have a lot of change.
Wow, so sad.
Yeah, it's good because they were almost there already, and anything you do right now to nerf them will just bring it back to 2021 where the entire Dragonstone channel was just all set Baratheons. So let's not go there. Let's not go back down memory lane, and let's look at the next change. The next change is Queen's Band. So Queen's Band has only one change, which is to their order Queen's Blade.
Also, no healing.
Oh, no healing. Only
Yeah,
justice.
so
Okay.
they can only take
Oh.
Baratheon's justice. They can no
Oh.
longer take Baratheon's conviction. I'm not a Baratheon player, so here you guys to explain to me.
Wow.
Is this
Wow,
an
that's-
I think
impact at all?
it's an impact. Well, if I play them, I think it's a huge impact because I use conviction all the time.
Yeah, you almost never take justice.
I pretty much don't take justice. Yeah.
I never
lose
take
the
justice
healing.
either.
Okay, so it's unanimous. Okay,
Wow.
yeah, so something to consider because I guess Queensman was this offensive bunker that went out, and we did see players like Gen Con and elsewhere get very good result with Queensman by being aggressive with it. So I guess this is gonna make them less scary moving forward.
This is enough.
Yeah, this is definitely a nerf now that I
It's
look at it.
definitely enough. Yeah.
Wow.
All right, so yeah, let's move on. Oh wow, the next faction is my favorite faction, the very aggressive faction that Man and Ian will also enjoy talking about. This is Greyjoy. We're moving on to Greyjoy. So let's start with our first change, which is Asha Commander.
Are they gonna fix?
Asha Commander is getting the
It's still
men's treatment as well.
Oh.
He is losing rally point for everyone's
This is
controversial
trash
ability.
Trash tier.
Boisterous charisma. Yeah, so you Ian, what do you say?
I think this is actually Greyjoy was always great as a 4-point NCU. Now this not 4-point NCU, so that's the worst one. The 1-point attachment for the Warcry. And now that this is getting nerfed without the bubble, this is just as bad as Ironmaker now. Eric Ironmaker. I don't
You
know.
speak
This
about Eric
is
Ironmaker.
now her Warcry card is also useless. Yeah.
Okay.
The Warcry card is useless. There's no bubble here. All your units are like 7, 8 plus morale, and you're gonna,
But
what's this ability?
Man, do you have any input?
It was not that popular before, and now it will become less. Yeah, and as said, the Warcry card is getting worse as well. So as attachment is much better.
Yeah. Just pick the attachment, man. This is because Victorian, when you buy the Greyjoy starter set, you come with Victorian and Asha. Victorian is the more aggressive one, whereas it's just all gas no breaks kind of thing. Asha is more like sustainable. You can be aggressive, but we can also heal at the same time. Now that this trash thing came up, and I don't know what's gonna do.
Okay, what about putting Asha in Iron Maker itself? Because Boisterous Charisma and Iron Maker does make it a lot harder for Iron Maker to become easier to kill.
Easier.
Yeah. So
but that's still a 7 point. It's still a 7 point unit right there, and there's also better choices out there like Scienceman.
That's true.
Or a Reaper with an outflank. That's 7 points right there.
Yeah. We're talking about Reaper. We'll look at Reaper in a bit. So let's just quickly move on to our next change. Okay, so our next change, we'll just quickly breeze through it quickly. It's Dagmar's coordination tactic. So, this was the main reason coordination tactics changed, because Drowned Man had an interaction with coordination tactics with other units, which didn't make sense at all. So, it was just more of a quality of life, sanity, mental sanity improvement for all of us, that we don't have to answer this stupid question anymore, especially for TOs like me. So that's pretty much it. Let's move on. All right, next. Next is Black Tides Chosen. So why not we look at Black Tides Chosen? So Black Tides Chosen is losing Divided the Spoil for Embolden.
Oh.
This is
still 7 points.
It's the 7 points. I think a couple months back, I joked with you, Brick, that Black Tides Chosen is seen as more of the morale 7 point unit buffer, and if they get Embolden, it might work. And they actually did get it. I'm like, okay, that's a joke, right? That was a joke, and now they got it. But they lose Divide the Spoils, so.
But the thing is, Divide the Spoils was unnecessary when
Bowman
were the one dividing the spoils for you.
Exactly, yeah. This might be the only unit except for the Drummond that has no divide, that has no pillage ability.
Yeah, it's a Greyjoy unit with no pillage.
Would I still bring it? I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's still 7 points, man.
Yeah.
You think it's too expensive?
I still think it should be a 6 point unit, this guy.
Right.
What do you think? He might not die, but the games I played, he always the first one that dies first.
I mean, at 7 points, you'd rather bring Iron Maker, right?
Oh, Iron Maker's probably better in this case,
Yeah.
Okay, understandable. Let's move on. Next change is to my favorite change of this patch. My second favorite. Okay, let's take a look at Greyjoy Reapers.
Reapers.
Finally.
So Reapers change is to, firstly, their attack die value. It is now 764 instead of 754, so they hit, slightly harder. And Reaper's Fervor, which is the big one that I kind of like a lot, which is they choose one for one effect when the enemy fails a panic test, and for each pillage token, they choose one additional one. So what that means is a unit could deal potentially +3 panic damage or suffer +3 wounds because of Reaper's Fervor. If you throw in Intimidating Presence, it's a +4. And if the opponent rolls a 3, that's 7. That's 7 panic damage effectively. So, what do you guys think, our resident Greyjoy players?
So the ability is a stronger version of the previous one, right? You still need an enemy to fail panic test, and now it's a +1 instead of choose one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the old one. There's
slightly
an extra
better.
plus sign right there. Slightly better, yeah. The output. Okay, so how I normally use
the thing that I didn't like about
is to go on.
Man?
The thing I didn't like about Reapers before, is because to use its ability, it has to go through too many hoops.
A panic.
Have to fail panic test. have to have pillage token. Yeah. So now it's a little bit better. I'm not sure whether it will see boost. Maybe.
Okay.
6 points right there.
But don't forget, outflank is still a thing, and you
Outflank's
could
thing.
outflank with a Reaper now. And since Reaver's Captain doesn't add to the attachment limit, you could throw 1 point Euron in. Yes, that's a
That's
8
an
point
8
unit,
point unit right there.
but plus 7 panic damage is 7 panic damage is the thing that we haven't seen since the very early days of the early panic rules.
Oh, okay.
So it's something to consider because if you're outflanking, there's a good chance you're flanking.
If I have 2 pillage token on this unit, I can choose 3 effects, right?
Yes.
So let's say, for example, you do a panic test, you take maximum 3 wounds. If you have 2 panic tokens, you +1, +1, +1. That's four more wounds right there because it's choose +1, and then the enemy cells +1 wound on top of that. So there are 2 options for you to choose. 1 pillage token is technically 2 wounds right there. You have 2, yes, 4 wounds plus D3. That's maximum 7 wounds right there.
Yeah, 4 wounds.
Yeah, 4 wounds. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So something to consider.
At least the models, I would use it for fun. The models are cool. That defense though is just a range you can just shoot it down easily.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, but still.
All right. So I think we exhausted the discussion here. Let's move on to another change. Let's look at the NCU change for. Firstly, there's no tactics card changes for Greyjoy. Let's look at the NCU change for Greyjoy, and there's only one. And something that I'm not sure about, it's Eric Ironmaker. So Eric Ironmaker.
So only 1 pillage token now instead of 2, and then any.
No, I mean Eric Michael always started with 1, right?
He started 2.
He started with 2.
He started 2 now, yeah. He's starting 1. He still gains it after someone takes a pillage token. Enemy takes a pillage token. Then he takes the bags. And now that when Eric claims a zone other than bags.
Does this feel like a nerf?
Is this a nerf?
Yeah, it was a nerf. Yeah. I'm looking at the card right now. Eric used to say 2 pillage tokens on Eric. It is a nerf, yeah.
It's kind of weird though.
Hold on. The second part is changed.
As well, right?
Yeah, the second part is changed. When Eric claims a zone other than money back, you may remove 1 pillage token. Sorry, it gets blurred. Can you zoom it a bit?
So basically, Eric or enemy NCU, when they claim a bag now, there's 1 pillage token that goes to Eric. So
never mind.
It's more flexible.
Yeah.
But the bottom part is also important because he cannot remove a pillage token from him to give a friend to it if it's the back zone. So in theory, Eric Ironmaker cannot be your final NCU to go on the board because your opponent can block you and make you take the back. If you want to put the pillage token down at that moment, you will be blocked.
My instincts tell me this is a nerf.
Yeah, it feels like a nerf.
Somehow they're valuing pillage tokens really highly here. I don't know why. Is it because of the license pirates?
Do you use him normally?
No, I don't. Only in my beginner games, but after like a few games, I stopped using him. Because Bowman can generate the pillage tokens.
I don't normally use
it as well. I don't either. Only as a beginner friendly game, but after you have Bowman and a raiding call, you don't need him anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. This doesn't help. It might help Lysine parts because of whatever their pillage token ability is, but I don't know, man.
Okay, we got Van back on the line.
Yeah.
Okay, let's quickly move.
Internet.
Yeah, let's quickly move because we are running out of time and we're trying to keep this short and sweet so that it's not too draggy. All right, let's move on to my first faction in this game, Lannisters, and one that I really like.
So Wendy's still 4 points. Wendy's still 4 points. Okay, Mikhail's going to be happy with 4 points.
Yeah, it's still 4 points. The first change is Commander Joffrey Baratheon. So the big change for Joffrey Baratheon is he no longer gives 2 VP. The king is not dead anymore.
Albert's gonna love this.
Right. Albert is an Indonesian player for our viewers to know. Yeah, so the key thing to note is also Joffrey loses king is dead, Mance gains king is dead, which is kind of funny.
That's kind of funny, to be honest.
Yeah. So,
Orders of the Crown is a new thing, right? It's a new thing for Joffrey now?
Yes, Order of the Crown is still a
Preston.
new effect.
It used to be on Preston.
Used to be on Preston.
It used to be on Preston as an attachment. Now it's just comes for free for Joffrey.
This is an amazing ability for Lannisters.
Yeah, maneuverability, kind of good for Kingsguard, especially if you have 8 activation, I guess.
And you always want to have Crown anyway for Lannisters.
Yeah, I think it'll go well with Kevin Lannisters as your second list because, having Crown replacement effect that is so strong gives you a lot of options as a player. All right, so let's quickly move on to the next change. Oh, the next change is Lannister Halberdier, which you have seen. So, not much to discuss here. As I said, maybe let's talk, Van. Let's talk about
So I think this is more important than what you think, to be honest. Because right now the mainstay unit for Lannister is 5 points, and it basically replaces a lot of options at 5 points. Because right now, back then, you were still considering between taking like Red Cloak, Warrior Sun, and now with Halberdier being 5 points, you can just slap Halberdiers as one of your commander bunkers, and it becomes extremely powerful. Like mounted with Halberdiers at 5 points, really, really freaking good. Sandor plus Halberdiers, only 6 points. That's really good. Like, it's a really good change. It's much more important than you think. For
I was going to bring it up because I think as a Lannister player myself, Lannisters struggle to have a 5-3 list, which is kind of important in the current meta. Having another 5-pointer unit gives you the flexibility to do 5-3 easier than previously. But at the same time, it's not a crap unit. There's a lot of flexibility involved. So something to consider when you're building is Halberdiers could be part of a 5-3 list. And I personally have built lists with Jaime Lannister and Tywin. And when I look at it, I go, this might actually make Jaime Lannister or Tywin work in some sense, even though they're like kind of bad commanders. All right, so any input from our other two speakers? Any input?
Nope.
Okay. I think we lost Ian in a bit, so let's wait for him to reconnect. But
Asian internet, you know how.
What's wrong with our internet? We're trying to connect 4 countries worth of people into one. Sorry, 5, because Ian is in Malaysia now.
There you go. See,
that's 5. It's our first time doing this, by the way. So forgive us for the poor internet.
Is Lannister?
All right.
Indonesia, Malaysia internet.
Is Lannister?
Come back soon because the next change is my favorite unit right now in this patch update because it was the worst unit in the entire game, arguably the worst. Everyone agreed it was the worst. It's kind of obvious, right?
Is it Honor Guard?
Yes, it is Castle Rock Honor Guard. So the key thing to take note about Castle Rock Honor Guard's change. There's 2 changes. The first change is
5.
movement 5. The second change is it's 7 points.
Wow.
So it's a 7-point unit with movement 5 and 3+ save, which is an interesting thing because it is rare to see a 3+ save unit with movement 5, I would say, like across different armies.
Okay, so last weekend I was playing with Albert for Honor Guard, and he was complaining the entire way that it's really, really bad, and I can understand why. I had like my Royal Guard, and it's just beating them up, and it's just like they do nothing, like literally nothing.
Yeah, I agree. It was the worst unit in the game, but do you think you'll see more play like this? Because I think 3+ save movement 5 is a big deal.
Okay, so I think they're still one of their biggest weaknesses. Still, you have to expand the condition token, which is probably their biggest sort of downfall. Because sticking tokens on an enemy and then expanding it for some effect, it sort of like decreases your output in some extent. But by making them 7 points and speed 5, I think they will see play because then they at least will contest objective in the middle. Because otherwise, with speed 4, they're not gonna get there even with horse.
That is very true. Contesting objective in the middle. All right, Ian, you're back. So as you know, 7 points for Casty Rock on the guard, 5 movement. That's the big change. So
I'm glad to see this this change. I know so many people that bought this. The models are cool. They played it once, they threw it back to the bin. Now you can see more play.
Oh.
okay, welcome Casty Rock on the guard. You're back. You're no longer the worst unit in the game.
Yeah.
We have to find out what's the next worst unit in the game after this.
Next worst unit. This patch is making a lot of changes, good changes to the worst units to make them playable now. Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say, like, the Golden Company Crossbowman used to be the worst unit in the game.
No, it was on the guard. It was on the guard.
Fine.
8 points infantry, really? For 4 movement? No, thank you.
Go.
All right, let's move on to the next one. The next one is an interesting one. You brought up mountains being empowered with the new halberdiers. Let's look at the next change, House Clegane Brigands. This is kind of exciting because there is no change here, as you can see on the card, but it is now 6 points instead of 7 points.
Honestly, they should have been 6 points at the beginning.
Yeah, yes, of course, everyone agrees there.
Yeah. like have 7 points to come up.
No. I think this was like asked like 2 years ago, and now it's like here. So
has it been 2 years?
Yeah, 2021 patch. 2021 patch.
Wow, that was so long ago.
We're old men now.
Yeah, we're all soldiers now. Okay, I mean, not very much to discuss here, but do you think you'll see more play? Because 6 points with Mountain, Assault Order, possibly a thing.
Yeah, Halberd, Mountain, 5 points, plus this is 11 points. You add in Crossbow, it becomes 17, and Knights 25. You can bring 15 points worth of attach NCU. You can even bring Tywin NCU.
I think pretty good. That's true. I think the other thing to consider for our viewers also is the same discussion about Halberdiers enabling 5-3 lists. It also applies to House Clegane. Having more access to a 6-pointer and a 5-pointer gives you that flexibility. Because they don't need attachment, let's be real.
Good changes to Lannister so far.
Yeah, it's been good so far, right? Lannister's getting some love after all these years.
Yeah.
All right, the final change, which since I spoke about attachments, okay, let's look at the attachment. It is an attachment, and it's the Clegane Butcher.
The Clegane what again?
The Butcher.
Does anybody remember this attachment? I don't.
Okay, so the key thing about Clegane Butcher, it was 2 points with 2 different abilities. I think it was Spread Fear and something else.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
I don't remember myself. So what is changing? It's a 1 point attachment with Field by Slaughter.
It's okay, I guess.
1 point. Horse attachment.
You know,
it's a horse attachment.
Yeah, it's a horse attachment.
Would you attach it? Would you give it to a lance? Ever?
Nah. Okay,
no,
my consideration was Hedge Knights.
Hedge Knights, yeah.
Hedge Knights' main problem is they cannot handle attrition. But I was thinking of slapping this in. So, yeah. Okay, we will now move on quickly. We're getting close to the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at the other original faction, Starks.
Okay.
All right, so the first change is House Moment Bruisers. I believe it is going down a point. Yes, yeah. So it's same abilities, same rules, but it's going to 6 points. So can our resident Stark player Ian speak up?
It's all right. Look, for 6 point options, you got your champions, the Shibes. You have the Outriders. You have the Bowmen, which is shit. You have the Bruisers here, and you probably have one more. Was it the Kastak Spearman? So that's 5 options of 6 points right there. This guy here has got terrible stats, terrible conditions, and look, he needs to lose a rank to use a critical blow. Whereas the Shibes, they can just use it straight up. If you lose more ranks,
he choose 1 by default, and he lose more ranks. He choose +1.
Choose 1 by default. But I gotta lose ranks, so I'm like, I don't know, man. I'll stick to Shibes with the War Cry. At least the nerf War Cry wouldn't change so much. I just want to design this guy. The guy's wearing armor, right? So why is it 5+? I don't know.
Good question. Why is it 5+?
Yeah, why is it 5+? For Counter Strike, I'll toss in Recon Usher onto my Shibes, and I'll get that straight away with a Shaggy Dog. So I don't think I'll bring the Zerber again. The models not, to be honest, not my favorite. I mean, the guy's bald, so I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Ugly models, ugly stats. I just don't know design behind this guy.
I mean, that's fair. Sometimes we do take account for rule of cool.
Real cool,
this one
it's-
is still uncool.
It's a hard sell. It's a really hard sell. I
Yeah.
got so many other options. This guy doesn't really do much to me. I don't know. What do you think as a start player, as an ex-start player, actually?
I feel that stocks are a bit incoherent and they have too many things trying to do the same thing, which is lose ranks and be recklessly aggressive
Yeah.
all at the same time. But you only have Kathleen Stark to try and spread the love left and right. I don't think it's enough. And I find it tricky to run stocks these days. That's my own input.
Another thing I want to point out is that precision and reroll, I can get that from a Bog Devil.
Oh yes, Bog Devil's
So
coming up.
if I bring Bog Devil up with the Shiva, I get all three abilities straight up. But
That
of
is
course,
very true.
I got to spend 13 points right there. With Recon Usher, that's 14 points. I will get all the abilities of Bruises will have here. Plus, I got another decent support there with Scout Opening. Scout Opening is really underrated right now.
Yeah, Scout Opening is a very good ability that Bog Devil gives.
Yeah.
I hope players don't discount that ability, even though it doesn't have a range attack, as in that unit does have a range attack.
Yeah.
All right, let's quickly move on. We're near the end already. So let's look at the next change is House Karstark Spearman. So, Karstark Spearman is losing Bulwark. So it no longer gets the 2+ save fun stuff. For Hold the Line, it's getting Hold the Line. So, Ian.
I've only used them once in this game, and I always lose the benefit of the bulwark because of activation advantage and everything. Him getting hold the line, it's okay, but he's still 6 points, right?
He's still 6 points. Yes,
he's still 6 points. Yeah. Stats 4/6. That's a Shiba stat right there. Hitting on force, that's a Shiba stat right there. Stand your ground, not too big a deal. I'll still use Shibas. I'll still use Shibas.
Yeah.
I want the Warcry. I want that token. I want to generate tokens. Yeah.
Surprisingly, even with the nerf to Warcry, Shiba still looks competitive
compared to this and the trash. Right? Yeah.
I think the key thing to take note is with all the changes we've seen so far, and we still have a few to go through, is the extremes have been brought down. So even though Warcry is nerfed, it's still a pretty good ability to have.
Yeah.
Because the point of average, or median, I guess, damage output and everything is all starting to come down a little bit when the ability to generate tokens is not as accessible as before. That's the best way I look at it.
Speaking of which, I when I was playing brackets, I don't think anyone and I put the warden inside with hold the line. No one, no, my opponents do not charge that unit at all. They just leave it alone. So I don't know. This guy, he needs to go into the middle and just
That's
stay
true.
there.
Because the competitive mentality is if it's in the unit not worth charging or it's dangerous charging that unit, just ignore
them.
That's true. That's very, very, very true. No one will come after this unit.
It's 6 points right there. And he doesn't have set for charge. He's a spearman unit.
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
That's true. Alright, so let's move on. The final change to Stark is Stark Bowman. Not much to speak about here, but he just gets +1 to morale, 7+ to 6+.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, man. What is okay? I'm just okay. Yeah.
Were you guys using Bowmans previously?
I used him once and he died one hit. I don't know how from a BFM. So I'm like, okay. So like, all right.
This is a 6 points unit, by the way. So.
6 points unit right there. Yeah. Okay. I've seen Roderick Cassell commanded on him to generate 8 hits to hit on 3+. I've seen that happen before, and other than that, it didn't do much. I don't know, man.
Yeah, don't really see much of a change here.
I still think Stormcrow Archers will still do better than these guys.
That is true.
It's a little bit better, but I don't think it fits with Star play style.
Yeah, Star players look like the cards. All Star's cards is all about melee attacks.
I think the problem with Stark playstyle is it's a very specific playstyle that relies on you losing ranks to get more benefits. but it's this play style of trying to get too close to death to get the most benefit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's like a balancing act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my Wardred Cassell list and my Howland list, as well as the Grey John list, I never bring Start Movement out. In fact, I'd rather find a point to get the Bastard Girls out with Folk Devils out.
Yeah, that's a very scary combo.
Yeah.
Maybe we can showcase that in the future.
Oh yeah.
All right. Let's move on. We're gonna look at Mattel, I guess. Mattel has only one change, and you've seen it. It is Expert Duelist. So there's not much to discuss. It's the Expert Duelist change from earlier. So the thing to take note is Mattel is not seeing any change if you think about it, because nobody was bringing 2.0 Bryn, if I recall.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So I guess the question I have for this section is
no change to
Mattel. Yeah, effectively.
No change to Doran.
no change to rising temperature.
No, don't have.
No lah, you guys have to deal with rising temperatures and Doran.
So I guess the question I have for all three of you, right, is where do you think Mattel stand post-patch? Are they better than before or worse off? Yeah, so let's start with
I had a discussion with Brett and Carlo on like we did a video on like how players are supposed to fight against Martells, and one of the key things about Martell is that they don't really play high activation game a lot. They're mostly just stuck in either 7 or 8, and 8's kind of pushing it. Now with Free Folk sort of like being the premier Horde faction, quote unquote, has received a bit of nerf in Endless Horde. Mance has been nerfed. Frozen Shore Chariots has been nerfed. A lot of their damage output has been nerfed as well. Now I think they can compete against Free Folks. So I think Martell is in a very good state right now. Very, very good state.
Okay. Any inputs from our other two gentlemen?
Yeah, I think I also think that it is still very strong, but maybe with no change to rising temperature and unbound, unbent, unbroken, the opponent maybe sometimes get the negative play experience. Just in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Ian?
The only chance I have against Martell is bring Greyjoys with 9 activations, and that's only I just say that Martell is okay in my head to play against. I just think Harmon's a bit overtuned, but otherwise I think it's okay. They do well. They did design the faction do well with the lore.
Yeah.
That you're supposed to play the Texas spot, not the field.
I guess the sour point is actually Harmon's better endurance, and it's kind of shocking we don't see much of a change with it here. Yeah. Because I believe better endurance was for quite some time people have been arguing that's kind of bonkers card or a broken card. So yeah, that's quite unfortunate we didn't really see change from Martell this time around. Maybe next year or whenever the next patch is, whenever it is. Yeah. Right, so let's move on to our closing segment, final segment for today. Okay, after looking at all these changes, can each of you give me what are you most excited for or to play? And can you give me one prediction of who you think will be on top? So let's start with Man. Let's start with you.
Definitely Martell will be on top, I think. Yeah. But okay. I'm quite happy that before I never really get a chance to play my Free Folk, but now I think I play them a little bit more. Yeah, it will be the nerve.
Okay, Van.
It's obvious that the clear winners of this patch is Lannister, because I think they just got a few strong buffs, but at the same time, a lot of faction just got nerfed over Warcry, and Lannister has the best Warcry. Well, I say best because in conjunction with Warrior Sun, it sort of does like the things that they want to do anyway, plus they get benefit on top of that. So I think Lannister will see a lot of play, and definitely Martell. Martell is practically untouched, so we're gonna see like everyone's playing Martell. I think it's the faction to beat probably.
Looks like we've got a new enemy coming. All right, Ian, one faction that you think will be on top, and what do you want to play?
I think like what Van said correctly was I think Martell is probably going to be at least top 3 for this year as well. Followed by probably Lannister's. Lannister's got really good buffs this time. I think they really needed those buffs because Lannister's has always been a fan favorite faction in our region especially.
Yeah.
And it's when the units are so expensive. It's like I don't really get to see a lot of units getting played because they always play the same thing. It's always a bloody crossbowman all over again. But now with the changes, I can see the other things coming up, and it's great. I would probably still stick with Starks and Greyjoy. Yeah, I find the playstyle the most fun. I'll stick with those two, and I'll see whether the Greyjoy changes really do make a change. I was hoping Pillage would change, but nah. This patch didn't make the expectation, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, Pillage isn't changing, so I guess it was a sour point for many Greyjoy players.
Oh yeah, Pack will probably still Discord Pack channel will probably be the new salt mine.
Yeah. Yes, the salt mines.
Okay, salt mine. But Vandermeer and Bowman did not get changed, so you're gonna see a lot of them still. Bowman.
Yeah, we'll still see a lot. But I guess I guess for me personally, I want to know whether Outflank will work or not.
Oh yes.
Because it's kind of like it feels like a red herring kind of ability on one hand. But it feels like it has a lot of potential at the same time. So no, where will it end up? We will find out in the future.
We gotta pay a point for that. So
I cry a little bit about the Baratheon change. So sad.
Huh.
Yeah. But I think the Baratheon changes were fine because you guys were expected to get a very hard nerf, and it was only Queensman and Champion of the Stack, which were I guess Champion of the Stack was definitely a problematic unit. I don't think Queensman was problematic. So kind of unfortunate deck enough.
I was hoping the Renly guys get some love.
Yeah.
Renly did get a buff.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of people liked Rose Knight.
Rose Knights, High Garden Riders, they're really good models, but they didn't get any love.
Where are you guys playing? I'm joking.
Renly did get a buff and all right, his side.
Nerf, I guess, for Max Vitulis.
I mean, he didn't get nerf, he didn't get a buff, so we'll see what happened to Renly's side moving forward.
Renly loses the Harden and the Expeditulis.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I mean, he loses both, doesn't get anything.
He loses both,
yeah.
Poor thing. Rainbow guys probably not going to come out at all.
All right. With that, we are going to conclude today. We thank everyone for viewing our, coverage of the patch today. Hope everyone have fun the year ahead, and we're going to have a big tournament in Asia for, the Asia scene for. It's called the Realm of Battles. It will be ran in December, and we'll be having national qualifiers around Asia, organized by your various hedge knights or your TOs, basically. And more news will come out shortly. In the future, we also plan to do more videos. Maybe monthly coverage about local metas, tournament news, maybe even new units. We don't know. We'll find out. So today, with that, we'll conclude today. So thank you for joining us. And
Yep. Thank you.
See you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Thank you.